Good night, and welcome to another installment of Vegas Voice Actors on Camera by Media Guilds International. We're on WWDBTV.com. I can't believe it's October already. But what's fabulous about October is we get to do our spooky Halloween scripts. I'm so excited. It's my favorite time of the year, the start of the holiday season, and it all starts with October. But before we get to those, we have a special word for someone special by Diana.
Tonight we'd like to take a moment to remember someone very special to both the members of Media Guilds International and our station, Worldwide Digital Broadcasting. Our dear friend Don Lewis Barnhart passed away last week. He was a caring, generous person and a friend to all of us. He was a director, an author, and a filmmaker, best known for his work on Mork and Mindy, Full House, Benson, Saved by the Bell, General Hospital, and many, many more. He was also an expert in finding the funny. He taught us much about that. In memory of our dear friend Don, his family has asked that each and every one of us do a random act of kindness for someone. So please do.
Thank you, Diana. Our first script this evening, we're going to start off with the Halloween theme. It's a gem by Rick Bindhammer entitled Eric's Fabulous Life, The Demon in Our House, Part 1. Eric, are you done in there yet? It's almost time. Transported by those powerful words, Eric found himself transformed into the garb of the frontline warrior in the battle against demonic invaders. He was the exorcist.
Time. Almost time indeed. All the ancient signs are there, and the prophecy is clear. Soon, tonight, the evil one comes, arising, clawing its way into our unsuspecting world from the very depths of hell. That was the final portent. The demon, the old one, most dreaded of all its kind, was upon us, and would return bringing with its pestilence rank odors, and horror that would drive lesser men into trembling, gibbering insanity. But this time I am prepared. I have bathed in the holy waters, anointed myself with the blessed oils, and cleansed my very soul to do battle with this creature. I felt its presence approaching.
The chandelier shakes, furniture vibrates, lights flicker, the ground rumbles, and with a mighty thrust, a greater demoness of hell pierces through the barrier and enters this world.
Free, free at last! Now to seize power, to destroy and consume all that is good, to feed and grow. Their pitiful lives are mine to steal, and I will be their master.
Nay! Nay, demon, I say unto thee, for I am the guardian of this house, this family, and I will drive thee hence, back into that hell from whence thee spawned.
Eric splashed the foul beast with the sanctified liquid and reached for the ancient tome to begin the ritual. But the satanic spirit struck it from his hand as the daughter of Lucifer moved forward and tried to embrace him. Its writhing, twisted, coiling arms wrapped themselves around, pinning Eric's arms while the sulfuric vapors of its foul breath caused his eyes to burn.
No! No!
Closer and closer to its face, its jagged maw moved. But in a sudden burst of blessed strength, Eric broke free and recovered the ancient text. Quickly, he turned to the needed page and spoke the ritual incantation.
Begone! Begone! In the name of the holiest of the holy, and the divine host, I smite thee. Return, thou foul damned abomination, to the fiery realm from whence he came, and seal ye God that rift, that might never return again.
But the loathsome demoness had brought forth more hell spawn, and Eric, the grand exorcist, was entrapped, and found his will forced to yield to the evil one's demands.
Now, is that any way to talk to your mother-in-law? Come on now, stand up and give us a kiss and a big hug, and then bring my luggage in from the curb.
Well, he's been like that all day, Mother. He never was fond of house guests, but that's my Eric, and I wouldn't trade him for anything.
I knew it. That the despicable creature had not come alone. Painfully I withdraw in anguish, beaten for now. But I know that I would steel my will and force my broken mortal flesh to recover. To break that Satan spell and drive this ancient horror from our home.
To be continued. First spooky installment for one of our Halloween shows. That was fun.
It was great.
We now have a guest interview. Welcome, Jeannie Bray. Is that right?
Wrong. On all accounts. It's Jeannie like I dream of.
Yes.
And Bry like matzo brie.
Right.
Usually people say brie like cheese because they automatically, transpose the letters.
Yes, of course.
But I'm not cheesy. And occasionally they say bray, which is what a donkey does.
Yes.
But no, I'm actually like the matzo brie, which I've never even had.
Oh, I've never heard
So yeah, B-R-E-I. In German you pronounce the last vowel.
Right.
Yeah, so
Bray.
that's why I end up being Bry.
Jeannie Bray.
Exactly.
Fabulous. All right. So you're a jazz singer, is that right?
I am.
You've done
I
some
s-
shows and
Oh, lots and
Tell
lots
us
and
about
lots.
that.
Well, let's see. I started at about the age 5 or so dancing, and I started out as a tap dancer by trade. I've been teaching tap lately, but I went with the American Tap Dance Orchestra in New York. I did the national tour of No No Nanette with Phil Ford, Mimi Hines, and the Ruby Keeler role. I've actually had the good fortune to be in all 50 states, most of the provinces, and all over Europe and the Mediterranean.
oh my gosh, that's fun.
So yeah, I've
How
sung
fun
and
would that
danced with
be?
bands from Toronto. I sang with Jeff Healy's band in Toronto, and he's like a rock star in Canada. It's really awesome.
Yeah.
I've sung with bands in New York, Bob Cantwell and his Stompers, in Denver, the Boomtown Stompers. There's a lot of Stompers in there. Mostly because when I started, I loved to do Dixieland. I still love to do Dixieland, but I do more 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s.
Okay.
And just this weekend, I did a show for the Red Hat Ladies that was a gangsters 20s party in Laughlin that was just off the charts. It was so much fun.
That's excellent.
Yeah,
That's
250 ladies all dressed in Charleston fringe dresses, all dancing,
Oh.
all singing all along. It was just incredible to have all those ladies know all the words. It was a kick.
That must have been a sight from the stage.
It really was. I'm
Oh,
telling you,
boy.
it was great.
That sounds like a lot of fun. And now you've landed here and set seed in Vegas.
I did. I actually came to Vegas in 1995.
Okay.
I've gone out on the road a few times since then, like '06. I was never even here at all.
Oh.
But the first few years I was
year.
here, I actually did quite a few shows at Debbie Reynolds Casino. I did the Brown Bag Cabaret. About every 3 months I did a different show. I did high roller shows for the Westford Ho. I actually wrote the show that opened the Staten Island Ballroom at the New York Casino. Had a cast of 55, 8 children, a barbershop quartet. I had everything but, a dog. I should have thrown in a dog.
Should've
But
thrown
what the
in a
heck.
dog,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was an
Exactly.
awesomely fun show. Every song was about New York, and it was with the what was that guy's name? The Jimmy Mullador Orchestra. I had Joe Williams. I mean, it was just an amazing, because it was the Nevada Opera Theater and they had the event, and I was writing the show for them. So it was really a lot of fun.
Awesome. And
Yeah.
now you said something about a supper club. Are you
Oh,
part of
yes.
that club? Or you
Well,
own it, or what's that?
No, actually, I do the Swanky Supper Club Soiree. It's kind of an interactive dinner theater show. We do it at the Italian American Club, which was built here in 1960 and never blown up.
Oh my.
I think the reason for that is if you knew who was building it in 1960, they might be afraid there's bodies buried under the bocce court. It's entirely possible. But the current administration is fabulous. We have Angelo Casero as the president. Couldn't find a finer man. Jimmy and Ben run the place, and they just do an awesome job. It's become the hippest, coolest in spot in Vegas.
Yeah?
Where
is it?
It's on the corner of Sahara and Eastern. My band plays the first Thursday of every month. We call it Throwback Thursday. And we play from, well, I do a free dance lesson about 6:15, because a lot of people are like, I don't know how to dance to this. Because we do music from the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. And, anything goes. I mean, you can just stand out there and, rock and roll if you want. But a lot of people want to learn how to swing or how to Charleston or whatever. And usually I would teach the Shim Sham for Prince Spencer. We celebrated his birthday for 4 or 5 years in a row. And after his 98th birthday last year, which he attended, he passed away 3 weeks later. But we had 99 tap dancers doing the Shim Sham for him for our floor show.
For his 98th birthday.
For his 98th birthday. I was determined to have at least 98, and I actually exceeded it, so that was very exciting.
Great.
But yeah, so my Swanky Supper Club floor show, basically the band starts at 7. They play for an hour, then we have a floor show, like the old 1940s supper clubs.
Yes.
And the floor show can be anything. We've had the Spotlight Dancers on. They'll be there next time on November 3rd, which will be Don Hill's 95th birthday.
Okay.
And I've been throwing that man birthday parties since he was 86 years old.
Okay.
And he toured with Louis Armstrong from 44 to 46. Then he went with the Treniers for 55 years and helped invent rock and roll.
Wow.
He's in all sorts of movies and television shows. You can check him out on YouTube. There's such great clips. He was in Don't Knock the Rock and The Girl Can't Help It with Jane Mansfield, and just amazing clips. He used to dance and play saxophone at the same time. I think this is what kept him so young. Now he just drinks red wine and plays golf. And at 92, I mean, he was shooting less than his age. I mean, he was shooting 89s, and I mean, he's an amazing golfer, amazing fellow. And so we'll be celebrating his 95th birthday coming up on November 3rd. And we invite you all to come down. We're going to have a grand old time.
Don Hill.
Don Hill, yep.
95th birthday party at the Italian American Club.
Which, one of the guys was saying that the Italian American Club is the adult version of Chuck E. Cheese for birthdays. It's where everybody in Vegas goes for their birthdays.
That's great.
And pretty much everybody goes there. We just celebrated, oh my goodness, who was it? Well, Shecky Green and Marty Allen just celebrated 94. Yeah. And Carmi Petrello celebrated his 90th? Maybe it's only 80. I think he might have only turned 80. Oh, okay. I don't want to make him older than he really is.
Right,
yeah, that would be bad. He'd come after me. But yeah, it was a blast. And Nelson Sardelli just celebrated one of his big birthdays. I think it might have been 80 as well.
Oh, a lot of
so, yeah, it's definitely a kick of a place because it is old Vegas. Right. I mean, you walk in, they've made it beautiful, but they haven't changed architecturally anything. So there's a low ceiling. You feel like you're walking back into old Vegas. Wow. And unlike the casinos, you can park right outside the door. You can walk right in, which makes it really popular with the over 75 crowd.
Right.
You know, they can be from their car door to their seat in just a few seconds, you know? So they don't have to walk through an entire casino and, they don't have to do all that stuff.
So your band plays every first Thursday?
Every first Thursday.
What's your band called?
The Speakeasy Swingers.
Oh, there you go.
Awesome. I've also had the Sock Hop Swingers. We play for, we did a 50s sock hop for the Parkinson's people. And I also, lots of different bands. I love having different styles and different people. And I just love the quality of new musicians in Vegas. Oh my goodness. I mean, the guys in my band, Charlie Schaefer, Don Hill, Bobby Scan, Bill King, Paul Testa, they've all, like Paul and, let's see, who else? We have a couple of members of the band that played with the Sorta Dixie Jazz Band at the Gold Coast for over 30 years. Wow. So, I mean, they're in a groove. Like Steve Johnson will come and sub for one of my guys, and he and Paul were both in that band for years. So they're just in a groove, and they just amazing. They're incredible.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun.
It is.
So
it's a lot of fun.
Check them out every first Thursday at the Italian American Supper Club. And you said you've been singing since you were 5 years old?
Yeah. Well, actually, I was dancing at 5. I didn't start singing till I was 9.
Okay, well,
that's when I discovered that dancers who sang made more money.
Oh,
yeah,
well, there you go.
I started singing when I was 9. I had to do On the Good Ship Lollipop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
Any final things you want to say before we have to go?
Well, I just invite you out to a Swanky Supper Club soiree. The exciting thing is next year I'm actually planning to start in January with themed parties where we want the audience to be part of the show.
Ooh, audience participation.
So like January 5th, we're going to do a Roaring 20s Great Gatsby party, and I want the audience to come dressed like it's the 1920s. Everybody in their fringe dresses. We've done parties for Zappos where we literally had 3,000 people in zoot suits and Charleston dresses, and it's so much fun. The energy of the room is just extraordinary. extraordinary. And just coming off that high this last weekend with the Red Hat Ladies, I want more of that. So we'll do 30s parties and 40s, the fabulous 40s, the nifty 50s. And each month, just check out our webpage or our Facebook page.
There was a webpage we could go to.
WWW.thespeakeasyswingers.com, but it's better, I think, on Facebook because I update it more often on Facebook.
Okay.
So yeah, check out our Facebook page, and you can see what our theme is and how you should dress and what you should do, and I'll keep right on teaching some dance lessons, preferably the dance that we're going to be doing.
Awesome.
We might do a waltz for the 40s, or we might do it. We'll see, but it'll be fun.
That sounds magnificent.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
And I believe that we are going to be closing out the segment with your
with a song.
With a song that you sang.
Sounds like fun.
Can
Well,
you
this
tell
is
us a little bit about it?
the one I'm going to send you is our band's most requested song. It's from 1937, and it's one of my gems. See, a lot of people do standards, and you are going to hear Route 66, and there's a lot of standards. And I'm not saying I don't do standards. We always do It Had to Be You. We always do What a Wonderful World. But I like to do gems, and this gem is from 1937. It's called I Double Dare You. And it's a lot of fun. And just for a kick, I got what it takes, but it breaks my heart to give it away.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to that. All right. Coming up will be the song, and we'll be right back. Yeah. Wow, that was amazing. I am going to go so that I can hear more. Next up, Vegas Voice Actors by Media Guilds International on WWDBTV.com is continuing our Halloween scripts. And we have another script by Rick Bindhammer called Witch of the Week with Susan and Diana.
Our Witch of the Week is an obscure one. It's the Witch of the Isle of Aia, the sorceress Circe, made famous in Homer's Odyssey. Welcome.
Yes, no need to bow, curtsy, or whatever it is you humans do today.
You're rather tall for a woman.
Well, of course I'm tall. I'm the daughter of the Titan Helios, once known far and wide as the sun god, and my mother was an Oceanid, Perse.
Per se, as in oneself?
No, you silly mortal. One word, Perse, one of the 3,000 daughters of the Titans, Oceanus and Tethys.
Wow, that's what I call a big family. So you're one of the offspring of Titan parents?
Of course, I just told you I was.
That's right, you did. Do you remember Ulysses?
Rather handsome man. His crew, however, were another animal.
Yes, I understand you transformed them into pigs.
All men are pigs, darling. I just made them real ones.
Why?
Well, I saw them all rooting around my island, and I was in the mood for a bit of fun. If you were there and a goddess, you'd have done the same thing.
I don't think I would.
Oh, a whole shipload of sailors on shore leave, and you the only woman? Think about it.
Oh.
Yes, I did the only sensible thing a woman can do in such a situation. I fed them a feast, laced with a potion to make them slumber, while I contemplated what to do with them.
And you decided to turn them into swine.
It seemed fitting at the time. They had all pigged out at my table, were hemming it up over one another, and I distinctly heard a few comment to their fellow table-mates that they would like to pork me. So I porked them first.
So that's what you do, turn people into pigs.
Certainly not. Some I've turned into lions and wolves and weasels. I have a fondness for all animals. With large groups of people, it's simply much easier to turn them all into the same animal. Zip, boom, bam, thank you, ma'am.
And then Ulysses came to rescue his men.
Oh, that was fun. He demanded I release his men. I said, if you find any men amongst all my animals, you can have them. Sometimes I'm such a stinker.
So he chose the pigs because their number was the same as his men. Then after you turned them back, you seduced Ulysses.
It was mutual consent, I assure you. Hermes intercepted him on his way to me and warned him that I might try to take away his manhood. Men are such scaredy cats when it comes to their manhood. I mean, really, what do they think, that witches keep manhood squirreled away for a rainy day?
Would you have taken his manhood?
I thought about it, but I've never been one into steady relationships.
Potions, transformations, that must be why you're called the Witch of the Isle of Aea.
You say that as if it's a bad thing. I'm actually one of the most merciful and good-tempered witches you could ever meet.
You have an island zoo made up of transformed men?
No, some of them are women. There are a good many of them over there. Cackling hens, sheep, cows, to name a few. The gazelle was a dancer. Mind you, it's not my fault. They invade my island, my peace and privacy. I think it's often a bit of an improvement and much more humane than what many other witches would do to them.
Do you ever eat these humans?
There are no humans out there, dear girl. They are all animals.
Why animals?
Dear girl, I have the ability to gaze at people and see into their souls. More humans are animals than you know.
What do you see when you look at me?
A darling, precious little lamb, so young, naive, and full of energy.
Thanks.
I know this little girl named Mary who would just be delighted.
No.
You know, I've been watching your presidential primaries with my special eye.
You have?
Certainly. And people say I have a zoo. You haven't seen anything. Are you sure you don't want to be a lamb? Mary really is a sweethearted girl. She'll even take you to school.
I think we're out of time for this interview. Our thanks to the witch goddess Circe.
Come by Island Aena anytime, dear girl. We'll chew the bacon.
What?
Our next script is one by Erica Mayer. She writes a few sometimes, and they're always funny. I'm looking forward to this one. By Blank Out by Erica Mayer. Gigi decides to call her friend Laverne to hear how the party went that she had missed last night. So let's hear what Gigi and Laverne have to say.
Oh, yeah.
Hello?
Hey, it's Gigi. How was the party last night?
Party? What party?
What party? The party that I couldn't go to, the one you invited me to?
I really don't remember any party. I can't remember. What did I do last night?
Wait a second. You don't remember what you did last night?
Let me think. You know, I just had some friends over a little while ago, and we had a couple glasses of champagne, and I might be a little fuzzy.
You sound fuzzy, too, you know. Your voice is really weird, Laverne.
Laverne? You want Laverne? Laverne?
Hey, wait a second. You know what? You really don't sound anything like Laverne. But you know who you do sound like? You sound like Judy.
This is Judy. You called me Gigi, not Laverne.
Wait a second. How is that possible? I called from my cell phone with Laverne's contact info. I pressed the button right next to her name.
I don't know how that's possible. What number did you call?
It's right here in my phone. Let's see. It's 702-555-1212.
Gigi, that's my number.
But my phone says it's Laverne's number.
I don't know what to tell you, Gigi.
Listen, Judy, you have Laverne's number. Why don't you look it up and tell me what it is?
Okay, Gigi, that's a good idea. Here it is, 702-555-1212. What the? Hey, what's going on here? That's my number. Why is Laverne's number my number? How is that even possible?
And how is it even possible that we both have your number for Laverne's number in both of our phones? Judy, this is freaking me out.
Yes, Gigi, this is freaking me out too.
Judy, can I come over for a glass of champagne? I'm starting to get a headache.
Sure, Gigi, come over. I'd like to invite Laverne too so we can figure this out, but we don't have her number.
I know, Judy, I know. Would you start pouring and use a really big glass, please? I'll be there in just a minute. Bye-bye.
Bye. Uh-oh. I think I drank the rest of the champagne while we were on the phone. No worries. I'll just call Laverne and ask her to bring some over.
There are rumors that actually happened. Yikes. We are continuing with our spooky Halloween theme. It's my favorite time of the year, you know.
Tell me about it.
And David has a spooky urban legend to tell us. Take it away, David.
Japan is a beautiful nation, home to great food, amazing festivals, and very breathtaking sights to see. Though home to many dark and terrible urban legends that shiver the spines of those who reside within the land of the rising sun. The name Kuchisaka Onna is a name feared since the age of the feudal. Known mostly as an apparition who is fully clothed from the neck down, clothed also across the mouth, known to appear as the sun descends, a ghost in the mirror, and she will appear. And can we redo this? Fuck. Japan is a lovely nation, home to great food, amazing festivals, and breathtaking sights to see. Home to many dark and creepy urban legends that shiver the spines of those who reside within the land of the rising sun. The name Kuchisaka Onna is a name feared since the age of the feudal. She tends to appear as an apparition in the mirror, fully clothed from the neck down, her mouth covered. She will show to the sights of her victims and will ask the question, "Do you think I'm pretty?" If you respond with no, through the mirror you will be stabbed through the heart with a giant pair of scissors. If you say yes, she will reveal her face to you. A wide open cut smile to both ears will be shown. She will then ask, "Do you think I am pretty now?" If you say no, your vitals will be lacerated before you can blink. If you say yes, you will wake up with a smile from to both ears. You are able to distract her by saying, "I'm not sure," or "You are of average beauty." Then run and pray she doesn't find you again. Happy Halloween.
Next up, we have another Halloween gem by Rick Bindhammer. It's a frequent installment, Hank, and this is Hank's Halloween Scare.
All right, Hank, let's hear your story again.
Well, you see, Sheriff, what happened was this. Every afternoon I have trouble getting into the whole spirit of things. Everybody else seems to get all excited and have a good time, but all that spookiness and dark just kind of makes me nervous and jittery. So that head doctor, what I sees, says I gotta face my demons. So he said I gotta go to the spook houses he's put up. So I called my friend Skeeter, and it went like this. "Hey, Skeeter.
Yeah? What do you want, Hank?
My doctor said I had to get over my jitters, so I need to get one of them creepy old houses of horrors so I can get all that nervousness out of my system."
Is that right? Shucks, I think the people what goes in them is more creepy, if you know what I mean.
It has to be really scary.
All right then. I know just the place. It's a bit of a drive. I'll pick you up after dinner.
Sure enough, right about dusk, Skeeter is out there beeping his horn, and off we go. The sky looked like it was on fire. The Devil Went Down to Georgia was playing on the radio. I was already getting spooked out, and we ain't even got there yet.
Here we are, Hank. They call this place the dungeon.
We went to the door and twisted the door ringer thingy. The door opened, and she answered. This woman was all dark and tall as a grizzly. And she was wearing this fancy black dress with high collar, purple blouse, all trimmed in frilly stuff, all around the collar and cuffs, with one of them fancy black leather waist slimmer things. She was built like a brick. Anyways.
Good evening, gentlemen. I am Mistress Demond. Welcome to my parlor.
Her living room was pretty fancy. It had window covers, dark wooden chairs and long benches with pillows glued right to the seat. The whole place was lit by candles and oil lamps. She said all her customers had to sign this release form, so I just shrugged down, put down my X, and then she turned to Skeeter.
I'm just a driver, if you don't mind. I'll just wait here at the bar until my friend is all done for.
I don't think I quite cared for the way Skeeter put that, but I figured he's just ribbing me.
Come this way. Let me take you on a full tour. First room is changing room. You must go in and change into the proper attire. Pick a locker. You will put on what is inside and replace it with your clothing.
So I go in there and pick them the lockers. The first one, all I had was a dog collar, a leash, and some kind of slingshot. Another had this real shiny suit made of rubber with zippers all over it. And the third one I looked at, it had a harness with a pair of short shorts.
Pick and change before you make me angry.
So I picked out this skimpy little robe that just barely covered my backside, and I put it on over my boxers. I stepped out, but dang if she didn't yell at me to go back in there, remove my boxers, and put on one of them slingshots.
The pouch goes in front.
Oops.
Now get dressed, slave.
I figured it was some kind of initiation, so I did what she said, because when a woman talks like that, you better. It was worse than those hospital gowns. I come out all red-faced.
Good. From now on, you must do everything I say. You
Yes,
do
ma'am.
not want to make me angry.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't call me ma'am. I am Mistress Demond, or just Mistress, never ma'am.
Yes, Mistress Demon.
Now then, do you know what a safe word is?
Well, I thought about that for a moment, and I said, yes, Mistress Demon.
Good. What is your safe word?
Ollie, ollie, oxen free.
You are a funny little worm and you make me laugh. Ha! I will now show you my dungeon. At the end, you will tell me which one gives you most shivers.
Then we went through this big iron door, and with wood, and it's all dark and gloomy looking. Dang, it was spooky. I could hear all kinds of moaning and sobbing, and every now and then a scream. The hairs on the back of my neck was sticking straight up.
This first chamber is where we discipline misbehaving slaves. We call it the woodshed.
I'll be darned if it didn't look just like my grandpappy's woodshed back home. Boy, that brought back memories. Wow, I never seen so many paddles, canes, switches, belts, fly swatters, even one of them shaving strops things. There was this old-time school teacher in there hanging over a guy in his underwear and a dunce cap, and she's yelling at him. I almost got teary-eyed just thinking back to those good old days.
No, I see. It's too good for you.
Well, the next room had this woman with spurs and a switch riding this fella like he was a horse. She was a spurring and a whipping like they was in the Kentucky Derby. I had to bite the inside of the cheek of my mouth to keep her from laughing.
Silence! So you think this is a joke? Well, you won't be laughing last.
This next room had a guy strapped to a table, and this woman was almost nothing covering her. Had candles. She was dripping all sorts of wax on that fella's chest. I was thinking it was kind of pretty until she reached over and ripped it off, and he screamed. Oh, you know, my cousin used to do that. She called it a bikini wax.
It's not the same thing?
Well, sure it is.
Don't talk back, slave.
I decided to play kind of cocky. Is that the worst you got? She gave me this long look, then smiled real wide and darn spooky. Then she pulled out a big black bag and put it over my face. I couldn't see nothing.
Now, I know everything to give you what you need. You are a special case. Come with me.
All right. Finally, the big scare. To be honest, I'm starting to think that this must be the lamest spook house ever. Well, here it comes. Just what the doctor ordered. What could it be? Was it ghosts, devils, big hairy monsters?
Hold still, slave!
Next thing I know, she ripped that old short robe off of me. I felt those leather straps around my ankles and wrists. I tested him, and I could tell he was attached to something springy like. Then she pulled the bag off my head. It took me a moment for my eyes to adjust, but they cleared, and I could see she was just wearing a skinny waist thing, just like my great aunt used to wear, and she had her hand on this lever.
You have been very naughty, slave. Since you won't call me mistress, you can call me mister.
That's when I noticed she had this huge, oh my God, I can't even describe it. It was strapped to her private area, and I think I heard banjo music.
Are you scared now? You should be.
Ollie, ollie, oxen free! Oh, I took to running and bouncing all that room, shouting, ollie, ollie, oxen free! Oh, but she pulled that lever and it yanked me right back. Oh, I didn't know my body could stretch that far.
Oh, no, no, no. You not get off that easy.
Then she started walking towards me like a hunting mountain lion, laughing all evil like. Ollie, ollie, oxen free! Somehow I chewed those bouncy cords off my wrist, but I heard her still laughing, so she stalked me from behind. I took off running, but I only got so far when those darn rope yanked me right back off my feet, shot me back like a missile. Smack dab into her, knocking both of us in a heap. Oh, lucky for me, I winded her, and I got those scraps off my ankles. She made a grab for me, but she only snagged that slingshot. It broke, and I just started running. But more people came out in the hall, and I bumped them out of the way. I just kept on running, right past Skeeter, out the door, and the whole Des Moines horde just in hot pursuit with me hollering,
No!
Ollie, oxen free!
No, you must pay. You must pay.
Ollie, oxen free! Ollie, oxen free! Oh, I must have run 5 miles when your deputy pulled me over, and that's why I was out there on the road, running around naked as a jaybird. Honest, Sheriff, I'm telling you the truth, cross my heart. Hope to die, stick a finger in my eye, 'cause nobody could make that stuff up.
Lucky for you, Skeeter showed up with your clothes, and he's out front telling everyone what happened. I'm going to let you off with a warning. Next time you go to a horror house, make sure it's a church or the Rotary Club running it. Now get dressed and get the hell out of here.
That's why it's so important to enunciate. Horror house. You're watching Vegas Voice Actors by Media Guilds International at our favorite time of the year. It's the holiday season and Halloween. I love this next feature by Beth Toy. It's called The Witches Report.
Good evening, my lovelies. This is Witch Esmeralda, head of the Witches' Council. Here to give you tonight's Witches' Report. Each October, all witches gather to prepare for what we consider the only holiday, Halloween. We are testing to make sure that all of our brooms are in good working order and ready to fly. Last night, all of the witches had a lovely midnight snack in the graveyard with the Ghosts and Goblins Council. We have some very, very scary plans for Halloween night. I would love to tell you about it, but of course, I can't let the black cat out of the bag. Just be ready and beware. Are you sending your children out alone on Halloween night? I wouldn't, and that's all I can say. Well, I can say if you dress them as witches and ghosts, we will be very pleased. It might make them extra safe. Tune in again to WWDBTV.com for updates on what's to come on Halloween.
Well, that wraps up another show. Join the Vegas Voice Actors next time for another Halloween installment on dbcorp.com. We have Betty Lugaris, our fabulous director, Beth Toy, our guest Jeannie Bry, Diana McLean, Rick Bindhammer, Susan Bindhammer, David George, and Erica Mayer. We have a final word to send us out this evening by Beth Toy.
Thank you. Tonight we would like to end our show with a special video clip. Each year during the Kentucky Music Educators Convention, 500 Kentucky high school students gather for a statewide chorus competition. They all stay at the Louisville Downtown Hyatt. Each night that they are there, they all gather in the Hyatt's 18-story atrium to sing the Star-Spangled Banner. This is the most amazing rendition I have ever seen. With the state that our country is in today, we could all use a feeling of unity. Enjoy and good night.
Night.
Good night. Good night. Good night.
Good night.